Hey house guests, welcome to today's BB21 updates and spoilers. I almost said BB19, which would actually be very fitting. So our house guest of the day is Brittany Evans. Brittany, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we really appreciate it. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Brittany, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. So just some quick tidbits before we get into the real good stuff, if you can even call it good. These are just some social media things. Did you guys see that video floating around of Kat before she left for Big Brother? Apparently Kat had a boyfriend before the show, and he like threw a viewing party and everything for the premiere, and then like a few days into the season she slept with Jackson. That is so messed up. But in the video she's like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss you so much and I love you and blah blah blah. Crazy. And then I also saw or heard, even on the feeds, that apparently Jackson was following Holly on Instagram before the show. So I don't think they know each other from before, but I think he was just like, oh, it's a hot girl, I'm gonna follow her. I think that's what that was. But that's pretty freaking weird. So anyway, let's dive in. Let's dive right in. So we left off yesterday, right at the beginning of the day. It was time for Cliff's morning chat. So I got some Cliff notes here from Cliff's chat. And he said, well, according to Cliff, the power veto this week was the one where you have to like stack things, and this time it was frogs. I'm assuming they were not real. And you also had to keep refilling your water before it would run out. So it kind of combined two competitions that we've been seeing a lot lately on this show. So you gotta stack things and you gotta make sure your timer doesn't run out. So we already know that Sam won that one. So we also found out that Cliff is still staying close to Jackson and Holly because that's like his in with the cool kids, but he's also got a final two with Nicole, which he intends to keep and follow through with. He does want to work with Nicole. He really trusts her. And also, we saw the other day he formed that 3-person alliance with Nicole and Ovi, and they came up with a name. Nicole and Ovi want to call it the Fellowship because of Lord of the Rings. Fun. And Cliff built on that and said the Fellowship of the Zing. Oh my god, so clever. It would make more sense if there were like 9 people, but it would also be really stupid to have an alliance with 9 people, right? Yeah, so anyway, I appreciate the Lord of the Rings reference. Okay, so Cliff also said that he wants Ovi to come back into the game. I mean, I think that's pretty much a no-brainer at this point, right? But you never know who could be evicted 3rd and 4th. So maybe he would want whoever's evicted next week to come back more. But I feel like that wouldn't be the case unless it was maybe Nicole. So he was also saying he likes David as a person, but he thinks that David is bad for his game. And I don't understand why, because I feel like David would go after that big group that Cliff wants to get all broken up. So like, why would you not want David in the house? Also, I don't see David targeting Cliff anytime soon. I don't think he would go for him. He's got much bigger fish to fry. But Cliff wants to make sure no one gets too close to David because he wants to make sure that he stays a target. Boo! Okay, so it was the morning after the Big Bang. I'm talking about Sis and Jack getting busy and Nick and Bella. Cool. I'm sorry. I'm just like so annoyed that the showmances are like front and center this season. It's super tedious and boring to me, and if I wanted to watch Love Island, I would watch Love Island. I'm trying to watch Big Brother here. So Holly and Sis were in the storage room, and Holly's like, oh, I was covering for you last night because Jess was walking around doing a head count and she couldn't find you and she was asking where you were. So then Christy comes in the room and she asks Sis if she slept upstairs with Jack last night, and Sis says, yup. And then she tells them about Jack's huge penis. And then the feed switch. But when they come back, she's so giddy and giggling, and she is like full on dickmatized. Seriously. So anyway, Jack and Jackson were chatting in the storage room, and Jackson says that he was also covering for Sis last night, and he reports that Nick was looking for Sis and asking for her. And he was questioning why Jack's door was locked, because remember, Nick went up to the HOH room at like 12:15 or something and was like trying to tell Jack happy birthday, but the door was locked and he thought that was pretty sus. So Jackson's like, I was like, effing drop it. Why are you so pissed off? Because you got stuck with Bella? Oof. And he was particularly proud of that insult because he said it multiple times throughout the day to multiple people, and he also had Holly saying it to people. She was all like, oh, Jackson said he's probably just pissed that he's stuck with Bella. Ouch. Okay, so then Nick and Bella come in the room, and Nick jokingly says, oh, Jack, I'm pissed at you because I wanted to be the first person to say happy birthday to you last night. So Jack is playing it off like he went to bed early and that's why he kicked everyone out and locked the door. And Nick just keeps asking, who was the first person to say happy birthday to you? Who was the first person? You know, he's fishing. He's trying to find out if Sis was in the HOH room with him, but Jack doesn't really give a clear answer there. So then, where are we? Oh, okay, so Nick leaves. Nick and Bella leave. It's just Jack and Jackson alone again. And Jackson says that Jess is telling him that people in the RV room are talking so much shit about Sis. So just to be clear, they are calling what I call the horse camp bedroom the RV room, and we're gonna change it to RV room because number one, it's easier to write, and number two, let's just be consistent with what these turds are saying. So she is saying that people in the RV room are talking shit about Sis and Jack. So Jackson's like, that's not fair. Sis is the sweetest and quietest girl in the house. Is she though? I feel like, okay, maybe she's the quietest, but I don't see her being the sweetest girl. I feel like every time I see her, she's talking shit about somebody. So yeah, he said, I'm pretty sure that Nick is the one that she's referring to because Nick sleeps in the RV room with Bella. So he's like, yeah, it's gotta be Nick that she's referring to. So Jackson says he needs to get over it. Sorry he couldn't pull Sis. What, like she's a higher title at a Toddlers and Tiaras beauty pageant? You guys remember that show? They would always get so upset if their kid won their division because that means you can't pull for a higher title. Ugh, I forgot about that show. Anyway, Jack says it's not worth blowing up right now. He's not gonna freak out at Nick. He might try and clear the air with him at some point, but he doesn't want to do anything that's gonna risk the 8 working together, or the 8 splitting up, whatever. So Sis, on the other hand, is pissed when she hears that Nick is so concerned about her sleeping upstairs with Jack. So she's like, why does he care so much when he's been sleeping with Bella every night? So she wants to confront Nick about it, but Holly's like, I don't think that's a good idea. She says that Jess is probably just trying to drive a wedge into the alliance, and if you confront Nick, it's only going to make things worse. So, you know, just hang back a little bit now. You should only be worried if it's gonna affect your game, and I don't think it will. She says showmances don't usually affect the game. What? Have you watched Big Brother before? You're really gonna tell me that you're in a showmance with somebody, you're not gonna like protect them if you win HOH, and you're not gonna probably vote the same as them? Come on, let's be real here. You're lying to yourself if you think that that's true. Okay, so anyway, Christy tells Sis that Nick is just trying to get the attention off of him and Bella. So she's also saying don't confront him, just like let it go. All right, so let's talk about the game, right? I would love to talk about the actual game. So Kemi and Bella we're having a game chat, and Kemi feels like she's really in trouble this week because she noticed even during the Power Veto competition, most people were cheering for everyone except for her. That is never a good sign. So she feels like if her and Jess are still the ones up on the block on Thursday, she's not gonna have the votes to stay. She's counting what she has. She's like, I guess I would have you, Nicole, Sam, I don't know. So Bella's like, oh, I think there's still a chance. Like, don't worry yet. Oh, do you? Are you already planning out the ways you're gonna screw her over? So, I mean, you guys will see. Ugh. So then Kemi says that she talked to Sam and it doesn't seem like he's gonna use the veto. But Bella says the decision is ultimately gonna come down to Jack because everybody's gonna wanna do what Jack wants to do because he's the HOH this week. So she's telling Kemi, just stay chill, keep doing what you're doing, and I'll let you know if I hear anything. So then Kemi is saying, all right, well, if I do end up staying this week and I happen to win HOH next week, I don't know who I'm gonna put up on the block. I mean, up until this point, she's pretty much been saying that she wants to go after Jack, but then we saw when she talked to him before nominations, she said, you know, even if you do put me up, I won't put you up if I win HOH next week. And she wants to stick to that. So Bella proposes an idea. She's like, well, would you make a deal with him to solidify that and say you're not going to put him up next week? There's no guarantee that you would win HOH anyway, so, you know, it's not the end of the world if you make that deal. And Kemi says, yeah, I already told him that I wouldn't put him up. So maybe it could be good if you tell Jack that I said that to you as well, you know, so it'll look like I wasn't just blowing smoke up his butt. So Kemi says, I gave him my word and I really wouldn't put him up. She's not the type of person who's gonna give their word and then go back on that. Darn. But then she's trying to figure out who she would put up and who she would target, and she's like, honestly, I don't want to go after Mickey, but I didn't make a deal like that with him, so I guess I would have to go after him, right? Because she wants to take out one of the big guys here. So Bella's like, all right, I'm down to talk to Jack for you. Is she really, though, or not? Because I feel like we can't trust anything Bella says. It's a lot of nonsense. So then Jack does end up confronting Nick calmly in the HOH room, and he starts off by saying, I'll always have your back, we're gonna get down to 8 together, and it's really difficult for me to have this conversation, but, and he says in a really roundabout way that he's heard that Nick has been talking about him and Sis, and Nick is claiming that he didn't say anything about that. That's hilarious. Maybe he didn't outright say anything this time, but he did that other time when they were literally just napping upstairs. I don't think Nick has had enough of a chance to really make a stink this time. So Jack is saying, everyone has your back in the alliance. We've done everything we can to rebuild that connection, because they both admit things were looking pretty crappy before. They were really struggling holding that group of 8 together. But things are a lot better this week. Yeah, because Jack is in power. So then they start discussing the eviction. And Jack is emphasizing that it's a group decision this week. He wants to do what's best for all of Grateful, not just him. So Nick starts doing some major ass kicking. Not kicking, kissing. He is kissing some major ass. He is saying that he wants Kemi out because it's good for Jack's game, and he knows that Jess is saying that she would put up Nick and Bella, or at least that's what they're thinking she would do, but it's okay. They might be able to convince Jess to only put up one person from their group. And he says, if I do get taken out by Jess, then I just suck and I deserve it. So it's fine, it is what it is. But Nick is really laying it on thick because he says, I think the best thing for our game is not having a target on you or Jackson. Having you or Jackson out of the game would not be good. Oh my god. Can you be any more ridiculous? I mean, if I heard somebody say that to me, I would just feel like they were immediately lying, right? But Jack is just like, oh yeah, you're right, cool. So then they bond over how they both smashed the night before. Yay! Okay. So then, a little later, Jack is chatting with Christy in the bathroom area, and oh my god, he is a mess. This conversation is just like the precursor to one that he's gonna have later, but you'll see. So he says to Christy, you know, I don't want you to worry about the Annalise thing because he doesn't feel the same way about Sis that he does about her. He's like, it's so weird, I can't explain it to you. So he says, I would literally lay on a burning fire for you, and I would not do that for her. And he's like, I feel like America's gonna hate me for saying that, but like, it is what it is. And he admits, like, yeah, Sis is cute, and he says he's crazy about her, but he says that Christy is his counterpart in this game. And he's like, I'm crazy about you. Apparently he's crazy about everyone, but he tells Christy that she's his boo. So Christy's like, oh, well, you know, I have been wondering what you would do if you had to choose between me and Sis. So Jack says he decided before he came into this game that he would not let a showmance affect his game. So he's saying, like, I would choose you over her. All right, so like I said, that's like the baby conversation compared to what's coming up in a little bit. So then Jess chats with Sam about the veto, and you know, this is her pitch to try and get him to use it. So she congratulates him on the win, and she's happy that he's gonna get to go on a trip with the wife. I haven't heard him saying the wife in the house. Maybe somebody was like, that's really weird. I don't know. But anyway, she says that the reasons that Jack gave for putting her up make no sense, because she did not try to make like some big girls alliance, and there's a difference between supporting women and actually like creating an all-women alliance. She says, I just want you to know for sure that I'm not anti-men. You know, that's not who I am. So she does also mention having a family, which we heard the other day is something that Sam does not want brought up in campaigning. He was really not looking forward to this chat because he felt like she would bring up having a family as a campaign point. So yeah. But she's saying, like, if it helps your game to keep me, that's awesome. And if it doesn't, ... So she says she's not ready to go. And again, she says she's trying to do this for her family. So Sam is like, you know, it's super early in the game, so I have to be careful here. I don't want to put a target on my back or get blood on my hands for no reason. So I'm leaning towards not using it. But he also tells her, I haven't really been hearing your name much, so I think you're gonna be fine with the vote. Okay, so then I think it was about an hour after that, we see Sam come out of the diary room, and he's holding a letter, and it's actually from his wife, and he found out that his wife's grandfather passed away, which is super sad. Our hearts go out to him and his family, because that must be so difficult. I mean, it's so difficult to lose a family member in the first place, but to not be able to talk to your family and, you know, give them comfort and get comfort from them, it's just so hard. I can't even imagine. But he says that he was really close to him, and he was understandably very emotional. Everybody was giving him hugs and comforting him, and it was weird because he said he had a feeling over the last few days that like something was going to happen. He was worried about his own grandfather and his wife's grandfather, so that's really sad. So again, heart goes out to him and his family. But then to lighten things up a bit, Christy and Tommy were baking birthday cakes for Kemi and Jack because yesterday was their birthday. Isn't that so weird that they share a birthday? So they were actually working on the cakes up in Camp Comeback to keep it a secret, and then they just were like baking them downstairs. So yeah, that's fun. I love seeing Tommy do nice things. Okay, so then Christy was talking to Jack in the HOH room, and she was like, I just want you to know, Nicole did pull me aside, and she was almost crying. She was almost in tears, because she told me she doesn't want to sell anyone out, but there is someone in the RV room who's trying to play both sides and actually had an equal part as Jess in creating the Black Widows alliance. So she told me that Jess is upset, that she's taking all the heat for it, and they know that Nicole is obviously talking about Bella, but she doesn't want to drop names. So she was just giving Jack the heads up that Nicole and or Jess may try to come up and talk to him about this. So he's like, yeah, I mean, like, if they want to talk about it, let's talk about it. All right. So then everyone sings happy birthday to Kemi and Jack. They present them with the cakes, very cute, and they also had the Snapchat glasses at the time. Okay. So now it's hard to say how Christy actually feels about Jack on a game level, because she seems very close to him when they're alone talking, but then when she's talking to other people about him, I don't know if she's just trying to like put up this facade and make it seem like they're not that close, but like she's talking a lot of crap about him and like talking about all of his alliances and stuff, so it's kind of weird. But Christy was comparing notes with Sam about all of the alliances that they know of that Jack has made, including 2 different alliances called Stage 5. I guess he really liked that name. And she also revealed that Jack wanted to have a final 3 with her and Tommy. So I don't know if she's like just going along with it when she's talking to Jack or what, but like she's telling other people about it, so that's pretty crazy. But she also says that she'd kind of like to see someone take a shot at Jack. Maybe not necessarily get rid of him, but at least take him down a few pegs. So Sam is saying he would like to see a bottom feeder, like Nicole win HOH next and kind of shake things up here. I would like that too. That'd be great. He feels like she would make a big move. I would like to see things get shaken up, but I don't really want to see Nicole win HOH at this point, because I feel like she's not really on anybody's hit list, and I think it would just put a big target on her. So maybe let's not have Nicole win HOH. Yeah, so during this chat, they were also talking about Jess's pitch to Sam. He did mention that he pretty much tuned out the second that she brought up her family because he doesn't want that involved in campaigning. So then they were talking about the alliance, the Black Widows, and how it only had 4 people. And Sam was just like, he couldn't believe that there were only 4 people. They're like, who starts an alliance with 4 people? You can't run the house with that. Have you ever watched Big Brother before? Have you? There have been so many 4-person alliances that have done incredibly well. Can't say the same about 8 or 9-person alliances, sorry. But it's funny because Holly said pretty much the same thing the other day too about 4-person alliances. Okay, so anyway, this is the conversation that I was referring to earlier between Jack and Christy. So Jack was talking to Christy while she was showering in the HOH room. I would not want to go in that HOH shower anymore knowing the debauchery that has gone on in there. But anyway, it really seems at this point like Jack is looking for an excuse to get out of his showmance with Sis. He slept with her one time the night before, and now it seems like he's Job on Arrested Development, and he's like, I've made a huge mistake. So Jack says, okay, I want you to be totally honest with me. If it makes you more comfortable from a trust standpoint that I don't pursue anything with Sis, I respect it and I won't. Oh my God, are you serious? So he says, that's how much I trust you and I want to succeed with you in this game. So Christy says, you're nuts. I'm excited to see how it unfolds with Sis. That makes one of us. And she says she would never expect or ask him to end or enter or not enter like a relationship because of her. She knows that he has her back. She says she would love to sit in the final 3 with Tommy and him. Would ya? And yeah, she thinks that it's great if he wants to be with Sis and like pursue that. So Jack says, last night was more than he anticipated. He didn't want that much. He really just wanted to like sleep in the bed with Sis. And that happened. So now he's got to figure stuff out. Damn. Was not expecting to hear that from him. But then they're like exchanging I love yous. And I mean Christy and him, not Sis and him. And he tells Christy, I care about you a ton. And he says, I can't measure the amount of care I have for you compared to anyone else in the house. He says, you're my rock. Woo! So then Jack kind of backpedals because apparently he's still like super into his ex outside of the house, and I guess he tells her that she's his rock. So he doesn't want her to see that and get upset. So he's like, oh, don't put that part in, blah, 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 blah. You're my rock, you know who you are. He's a mess. I think he regrets going that far with Sis because he wants to still get back with his ex, and that's not gonna look good to his ex. But anyway, Jack says, I don't connect with Sis the way that I connect with you. Oh boy. And he says it drives him nuts. He doesn't have that connection with Sis on like an emotional or intellectual level or anything like that. So Christy says, like, I hate saying this, and Sis is the most beautiful thing ever, but there's not a ton of depth there that, you know, or at least that you've been able to see yet. Ouch. But she's not wrong though. So then Christy tells him, just take it day by day. You never know what could happen. It's gonna be okay. Oh my god, I'm getting like this super sharp pain in my head. But anyway, I hope I'm not about to die. I think this season is just like actually liquefying my brain. So anyway, Jack again says that he's still hung up on his ex, and apparently Christy has a very similar personality as his ex, so I guess that's why he's so drawn to her. But like, let's not forget, Christy is into women. Seems like he keeps forgetting that. But you know that he has real feelings for Christy because then he freaking pops a zit on her back. Gross. They were also joking about Jack's monster peen, and Jack is then, you know, bringing it back to Sis. He's like, I'm here to win, and he doesn't want this messing up his game. So then he tells Christy that he won the chaos activity power. He's like, I haven't told anybody else about this. Please don't tell anybody. She promises she won't. We'll see. But he tells her how it works and how long it lasts and everything. And he's like, I guess it's not as good as Ovi's power, but it's something. And she's like, no, it's very exciting. She's very happy about it. And she says it's a lot better than you think. You know, we could do a lot with that power. So she's hyped. Okay. I think that's pretty wild that he told Christy about it and not Jackson. It shows where his true loyalty lies. So then Kemi and Nicole were chatting in the RV bedroom, and Kemi's like, you know what? I really am starting to feel like this is a repeat of season 19. Why is everyone so afraid of going against Jack? Since when is he the Paul of this season? She says it makes no sense. Jack can't even play in HOH next week, so why is everyone so scared of him? And she's like, what could Jack possibly do to Sam if he were to use the veto on her? What Kemi is missing here, so she sees that Jack, Jackson, Holly, and Sis are all working together. What she's missing is that it's actually an alliance of like 8, and then there's a couple outliers that also want to work with them. So she's missing that there's like a whole group of people that would go after Sam if he used the veto on her. But she says, I really don't want to go home and have to watch the strong guys run the house this season. That would be super disappointing. So Kemi decides she's going to talk to Sam again. And she does just that. She pulls him aside for a chat. And I mean, she feels really bad talking game with him on such a tough day for him. You know, losing a family member. But he tells her it's okay. You know, veto ceremony's coming up, so do what you gotta do. So she says, from what she's heard, Jack still wants her out. So she's probably gonna be evicted if the nominations stay the same. And she tells him, I really feel like Jack, Holly, Jackson, and Sis are working together. And you know, there's all these other people that want to work with them, like Cliff and Kat. Oof, it's even worse than you think. She's totally missing that Christy, Tommy, and sort of Bella and Nick are also with that group. So it's pretty bad. But Kemi says not everyone can align with them, and you really need to think about your game here. You know, I would never put you up. I would be a number for you. And she starts making some really great arguments, but Sam just seems so scared to put himself out there and use the veto and go against the group. So she's telling him, if you took me down, I would have a much bigger target on my back than you would. Because think about it. If I stay this week, do you really think that they're gonna put you up and target you instead of me. No, they're gonna go after me still next week. So it really wouldn't be that bad for you. And she's also saying, I'm better for your game than Jess is. Jess is a number for Jack. And also, if Jess went HOH, she would probably put Nick and Bella up on the block. And I think it's pretty clear that Sam is working with Nick and Bella. So that's 2 people that you would not want to see go up on the block. But Sam is still worried that a lot of people would target him if he used the power of veto. So then here's just some other points that Kemi made. She said, you've been winning competitions, so you're gonna need people in your corner, because eventually people are gonna want to start targeting you because they're gonna feel threatened by you. And do you really think that Jackson, Jack, Holly, and Sis are gonna put their games on the line for you? No. So Sam is like, yeah, you're right about that, but he doesn't think that they're gonna target him right away. And it might not be like next week, but he doesn't realize that this group is gonna start splitting up for sure after this camp comebacker twist is over, because they're gonna want to strike, and they're not gonna try and take out like Nicole and Cliff. They want to go after Nick, Bella, and Sam before that, because they are much bigger threats. So Sam does end up admitting to Kemi that she's better for his game than Jess, but again, he just doesn't seem willing to put himself out there and use the veto, but he says that he hopes the votes will flip. I don't know, it's not looking great. So then some other late night stuff. Christy told Tommy, I think she told him that Jack won the chaos power. It was really hard to hear them because they were whispering very quietly and it wasn't like a great mic situation, but I'm pretty sure she told him, because let's be real, Tommy is her true number 1. And Sis and Jack continue to ruin the HOH shower. Blech. So yeah, also in other Love Island news, Jackson is now sharing a bed with Holly. Don't worry, she got permission from Kat. Kat was like, I don't give a crap, do whatever you want. Okay, so then today they had the power veto ceremony. Obi and David had to go to Camp Comeback during the ceremony. That's so sad. But anyway, Sam did not use the power veto, and Kemi and Jess remain up on the block. So then there was some drama this afternoon because Bella did Kemi dirty again. This girl will not stop. I can't believe she claims that she's like such good friends with Kemi, but this is like at least the 3rd major time she has thrown Kemi under the bus. So this is basically what happened. I'm trying to simplify this because it's just kind of like tedious, but the basic thing here, Kemi had a conversation this morning with Jackson, and then Kemi went and told Bella about this conversation, and right after she was done telling her about it, Bella reported back to Jackson. Are you freaking kidding me? So it turns out Kemi walked in on Bella talking to Jackson. She was just like, what? So Kemi was pissed, and rightly so. So Kemi goes to the RV room and she says, I guess I'm out this week because my closest ally can't keep her freaking mouth shut. But Kemi was also mad at herself for trusting Bella. She already knows that Bella is, she's got a big mouth. She told Jack about the Black Widows Alliance. So she's mad that she gave Bella another chance and she blew it again. So Kemi was then talking to Nicole, and they agree that they can't trust Bella anymore. She freaking sucks. She tells everyone everything, and then she spins it so that she comes out not looking bad. You know, whoever she was talking about looks bad. So then Bella talks to Kemi, and she's like, I know you didn't want me to, but I talked to Jackson. And I'm wondering if Bella would have even admitted it to Kemi if she didn't get caught, because I'm feeling like she probably would not have. So Bella says, oh, Jackson told me that he was testing your loyalty, and he sees now that you're loyal because you ran back and told me. So he really respects that. He did actually say to Bella, like, I can see that Kemi is loyal to you because she did that. But Kemi's like, no. He told me to keep the conversation between me and him. So now he knows that he can't trust me because he knows that I told you about it. So Kemi is trying to explain to her why it looks so bad, and Bella's just, she doesn't seem to get it, or she doesn't care. I don't know. But either way, it is very frustrating for Kemi. So Bella's like, all right, well, I'm not gonna fight about this with you right now. And she walks away. Ugh, I can't with Bella right now. She just sucks, man. She really sucks. But we're gonna pick it up there tomorrow. It's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen here. If Bella is actually gonna try and keep Kemi and flip the votes, or if she's gonna continue to screw her over. I feel really bad for Kemi. It's not looking good for her. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. We will be back tomorrow. We meaning myself. And I'll see you then. So until tomorrow, much love.